welcome to the Sulk stream. I am your host, the Incredible Sulk, doing show number 3 today. So here we go. Tonight we're talking about boomers again, and they blame you for stuff, and yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm sure I'm gonna be tired of it. I'm probably gonna scream a lot. I don't know if I have the energy to scream. I just don't know if I have it in me. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'll summon the rage. I will summon the rage that dwells deep within my spirit and my soul. It's probably not healthy. I'm probably developing some sort of brain tumor. That would be my guess. An ulcer at the very least. But yeah, it is what it is. So let's just jump right into it. Get comfy, get cozy. If you're working, keep working. If you are driving, please continue to drive safely. Get home. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, help me out on profile. That kind of stuff, definitely. Anyways, this is called Baby Boomers Blame Us for the World They Ruined. You know what it's going to be like for me, don't you? Enjoy.
According to the Federal Reserve, baby boomers now control over 50% of all household wealth, despite representing less than 20% of the population. And while there has yet to be a president younger than a baby boomer, with a generation controlling Congress for a historic 2 decades, the national debt has a
2 fucking decades. That's... I mean, some of them have been, like Nancy Pelosi has been, is she even a boomer? Is Nancy Pelosi a boomer? No, I think she's older. I think she's like silent era, silent generation, because she is old as fuck. She had sex with Kennedy, right? And she probably was on the, she probably had something to do with his death. I'm just guessing. I'm not saying anything, right? Don't fucking have me killed or anything like that. But Nancy, you probably had JFK killed. Probably. I wonder what, I wonder what they're going to do. Probably something not good.
Officially surpassed GDP for the first time since World War II, raising the question, how did our obsession with avocado toast bankrupt the nation's future? Well,
I would love some avocado toast. Jess, if you're watching this show, which you probably aren't, I will take some avocado toast. Have I? I'm sure I've had avocado toast. It seems like something I would eat for sure, but it's not something a part of my main diet. I'm not eating avocado toast all the time, or even occasionally. I never eat avocado toast, but I want to. We have the ingredients. We have avocados and we have toast. Jessica, avocado toast. Stat.
Well, you could certainly make the argument.
Make me the avocado toast. Make me some goddamn avocado toast.
That baby boomers in their entirety are responsible for much of the nation's decline.
I'm not showing live on your feed. Go to your page and find it.
Either through
I want some goddamn avocado toast. You bring it to me, or I'm going to scream. Yeah, it makes sense that I'm not showing up live because Rumble hates me. Join the club, Rumble. Join the club. You are not you're not like, I'm the cool hip guy that hates John. No, that's a extremely common sentiment. That is an extraordinarily common sentiment. And it's not my fault. It's yours.
Through conscious decisions or passive acceptance. The reality is that despite
Rumble is bad. They wouldn't let me upload the thumbnail. I had a thumbnail, but it just like, I tried to upload it and it just fucking shrugged its shoulders at me. I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? What? He's like really? Not tonight. I don't feel like it. It's like, it's like having a wife that constantly has a headache. Like, hey, can we do it tonight? And they're like, no. No. There's not really a good answer. There's not a good answer. It's just, no, not tonight. I tried to get this I try to get the stream going on time. Like I always do. At 8 p.m., I click the button, right? And sometimes it just fucking It just craps out on me. It just completely craps out on me. And I'm like, well, there's literally nothing I can do about that. I don't operate Rumble's back end. I can't do anything about it. I just cannot do anything about it. So it is what it is. You guys want to watch me on YouTube? You want to watch me on X? A lot of people watch me on X. You can do that too. These are options. You have options. But if Rumble would get their shit together, I would so appreciate it, because Rumble is the only one that actually pays me. So I would like that. I would appreciate that. Rumble, if you could just get your shit working, so I can sit down and do my show. When I press the buttons actually do things. You know? If they could actually do things, that would be so awesome. It'd be rad.
Generations being dismissed as lazy or entitled, many younger baby boomers, and likely many of the baby boomers actually watching this video, are experiencing the same collapsing affordability and economic insecurity.
Yeah, so it's even hitting the baby boomers, right? You know it's getting bad when it's actually starting to hit the actual baby boomers that, like, you know, they have their house, they paid off their house. I mean, to be fair, their house costs like $30,000, right? And they had to pay $400 a month for almost 10 years to pay that house off. And I was like, whoa. But like, they're like, why is my weekly food budget the same as my mortgage used to be? Well, there you go, man. Like, what did you expect? You print a bunch of money, and then you print a bunch of money to make yourselves rich, expecting that your children are going to pay off your debts, right? And then you're like, why is everything so expensive? Why? What do you mean, why? Because you printed a bunch of money.
Younger
That's
Americans
why.
face today, as nearly 75% of the generation's historic wealth remains concentrated among just the top 10%, revealing the origins of an economic and cultural
Top 10. Any top 10ers? Probably not. Looking at my donos, probably not.
divide, intentionally
Not a lot of top 10ers hang around this chat, which I get, which makes sense. This is a cult. This isn't like I mean, I guess some cults have very rich and successful people, like Nexium. Nexium was the well-to-do sex cult, right? Where they branded their bitches. That is fucking wild. That, like, if a chick is so infatuated with you, she lets you brand her ass. Whoa. You got some skills, bro. You have some skills. You can manipulate the shit out. Like, you just fucked with her head that bad. And then she's like, yeah, I'm going to burn your name into my ass. And then it's like, okay, what should I do with this? This is a power. This must come with great responsibility, because that is some powerful shit. That's some juju right there.
manufactured roughly 60 years ago. In an
That's
attempt to combat
talent.
the nation's growing fear of communist expansion, policymakers and educators increasingly began viewing the baby boomers as a generation that needed to be economically engineered into a symbol of capitalism's dominance. But in order to do so, they argued that a growing America would eventually require greater centralization and institutional control.
Sure, of course, right. The government's like, you know what? You know what this country needs? More of us. Government's like, yo, we should make ourselves bigger. Everybody loves government. Everybody loves, this is them thinking about it, right? They're like, what do people all unanimously love? The government. So let's just make ourselves 10 times larger and require 10 times as many taxes and be 10 times more bureaucratic for no real reason, for no real point. And here's my avocado toast. Do you understand how much it's chroma keying out? That's how green it is. Hold on. Hold on. it's chroma keying out. It's avocado. I promise you it's avocado. And then she brought me a thing of watermelon. So I'm just going to sit here and snack. I will eat this avocado toast. Is there salt on it?
Yeah. It looks so good.
And she's going to eat the avocado toast.
Well, I just want
At the expense of traditional values like autonomy and self-determination. Robert Cook, director of the Population Reference Bureau, even warned in Parents Magazine, how long will it be possible?
Yeah, I hate how Rumble's like, you know what? I'm not going to tell people you're on tonight. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell people you're not on tonight, and then no one's going to show up. 8 fucking people.
To maintain the American tradition of liberty for the individual in an increasingly
On Rumble.
crowded economy is another basic question, one for all Americans to ponder. However, rather than questioning the long-term consequences
And it was like, I mean, like, okay, there's 15 in total. But like last night there was like 180 people. So it's like, you know, it's a little weird just having ups and downs like that. It doesn't seem like that's on me. I think that's on you, Rumble. That has to be on you, buddy.
of the shift, economist Walt Rostow, chief advisor to both Kennedy and Johnson, argued in his 1960 Cold War manifesto, The Stages of Economic Growth, that the ultimate goal of American development was not individual liberty, but high mass consumption, viewing rampant technological innovation and material abundance, not future population growth, as the most important tools for demonstrating capitalism's superiority against the growing threat of a communist uprising, fundamentally shifting the economy to prioritize the short-term effects of the baby boom.
You're asking me if I know about fixing an e-bike? No, man. That's something, they're all different. You're going to have to just ask the factory, ask the manufacturer.
Size and purchasing power, rather than establishing the jobs, housing, and economic safeguards needed to sustain the nation's future. However, something rarely discussed is the fact that baby boomers span roughly 3 to 4 years longer than nearly every other modern generation, meaning many of the younger boomers ultimately entered adulthood under conditions far more similar to Generation X, inheriting weakening affordability, declining economic safeguards, and a labor market already beginning to deteriorate, as they were never actually the cohort policymakers and economists were structuring these projections around in the first place, as the older half of baby boomers were already approaching adulthood, becoming the true primary focus of America's expanding consumer economy. So while many early...
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, the later baby boomers, it wasn't so bad for them. It just wasn't as great as the early baby boomers. And like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Baby boomers benefited from an economy so desperate for labor that recruiters were sent to the Ozarks.
It's not goy food. It's avocado toast. How is that goy food? In what way is that goy food?
Searching for coon and squirrel hunters, younger baby boomers
Sorry?
increasingly came of age within an education system where teachers were specifically instructed to discourage individualistic thought while promoting conformity and group participation, transforming classrooms into tools for social and economic conditioning rather than personal development. And when you combine this with nuclear fears, constant relocation due to military parents, and rapid cultural change, a federal report based on classroom observations from educators and visitors describes students as burdened with inner anxieties and increasingly dependent on security and reassurances from parents and teachers. Common fears included failing tests, parents becoming sick or unemployed, and more extreme anxieties like being hurt by knives, poison, fire, or holdup. But the most striking phrase used was a pervasive fear of life, creating a massive generation, predominantly dependent on external reassurance, to be highly susceptible to whoever and whatever promised to save them from their struggles. As many early baby boomers increasingly rose into positions of political, corporate, and economic power, and ultimately never decided to leave throughout the deregulation and financialization era, popularizing the barbarians at the gate mentality surrounding ruthless cost-cutting and corporate consolidation, many younger baby boomers entered adulthood within a completely different economic perspective, one where long-term thinking, individual autonomy, compassion, and self-determination became outsourced to the man, offering the strongest promise of restoring high-mass consumption and the illusion of the American dream. And while that promise never materialized, despite
It's avocado toast, because that's what millennials spend all their money on, is avocado toast. And I was talking about it, and I was like, when was the last time I had avocado toast? It has been a hot minute since I've had avocado toast. And so, as I do, I yelled at my wife to bring me some avocado toast, and she did. And then she brought also a thing of watermelon. This is watermelon in like a little cauldron that I didn't ask for. So I think I might throw it at the wall. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. Make her clean it up.
still waiting. With the nation's wealth divide only rapidly accelerating, the rise of 24-hour news, partisan media, and increasingly divisive political rhetoric has continued redirecting frustration away from...
What's the deal with Rachel Maddow? Why is she such a miserable cunt? Can I say cunt? Right? That's not like a slur or anything. It's not part of like one of the banned words or anything. That's dumb. That's dumb that we constantly like handcuff ourselves. Like, look, Rachel Maddow is gross. She's a disgusting whatever that thing is. It's not appealing in any way. I think it's a woman. I'm pretty sure that she is some boyish type of woman, but she's not like I don't know how people put up with her. Like, are you also lesbians? Do you have a Subaru where you keep Great Danes in the back and then you go home and you fucking rub clits with your partner? But then that stops because it's not like you have any sexual, you just turn into a coven after that. A lesbian relationship is the most laughable thing I've ever heard of, right? You just basically live in your log cabin and then you have sex for like a month. And then after that, you're just a couple of old witches that live in a house together, right? You don't want to have sex with each other because I understand that's gross. I mean, look at you, and nobody takes anything you say seriously because not only are you gay, but you're also women. So that's a double down. You know, you're doubling down on nobody even paying you any sort of mind, right? So you gotta overcompensate by being masked and trying to pick fights at bars with guys that could absolutely just destroy you, but they can't because it would be considered a hate crime. You could hit them, but if they hit you back, it's some sort of like, I'm against the LGBTQ people or something like that. I don't know. God, women are retarded. I don't like. They are just retarded. They're like people, but just dumber.
The very institutions and people actively
Old
dismantling
lesbians
long-term
are the worst. Old lesbians are the worst.
prosperity and towards younger generations like their children in Generation X and millennials, or their grandchildren in Gen Z, economic guardrails like minimum wage and affordable healthcare, and ultimately whoever and whatever they were told was responsible for their growing insecurities within the nation's
Your
rapidly
generation's sickening. It's always me, me, me. I need a job. I have multiple degrees. I will take anything. Okay. That's a spicy political cartoon. No, it's not. It's not even good. It's not even good. I mean, I get it, but it's just like,
expanding economic hierarchy, creating a system where protecting
Old lesbians think, I think they're smelly. I don't know any old lesbians, but when I went to public school in California, right? So I had old lesbians as teachers in like my middle school and like my elementary school and stuff like that. And they would always like touch the girls for a little bit too long, just a little bit too long. And I didn't like them as people. And this was before I was prejudiced, which I am now. Thoroughly. And it is fully ingratiated itself into my personality. If anything, I'm getting more prejudice. The older I get, the more I learn, like the wiser I become. I'm all like, yeah. And look, it's not like I started off a hippie. We can all live together and, just get along and shit like that. But like, boy, as I get older, I'm like, yeah, I was really right. I was really, really, really right. I didn't even understand how right I was in my younger years. But here I am later on in life. And I'm like, God damn. I was kind of a smart kid. As opposed, everyone said the opposite. And even today, people say the opposite. I understand, right? They're all like, you're an idiot, John. And I hear that opinion. I hear that point of view. I hear it a lot on Daywave. But, you sure? You sure? I mean, I hope so. I really do. I hope so. I hope I'm not like some, out of, completely exceptional being, right? I hope I'm not like so exceptionally intelligent. If I was, let's say, a midwit, I would be pleased with that. But it doesn't look like that. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like everybody's really fucking stupid. It seems like everybody is really fucking stupid, and then no one wants to do anything for themselves, so they just give it off to the group. Like, what's the group thinking? I will feel that, and I will think the same as the group. And then they just roll like that. They just roll like that in NPCs, and they just keep going and stuff like that. And they all turn to me, and they're like, John, you're just stupid. And I'm like, well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Hopefully I am very stupid and I am very wrong all the time. I could not, I probably just don't understand how wrong I am. Maybe that's the case. And I'm just talking like psychotically, and maybe my fucking camera's not even plugged in. Is this muted? I don't know. I really don't. I hope I'm just locked up in some mental hospital. And there's like an IV of lithium going directly into my veins. Right? And I think I'm like sitting in front of a computer, and I have like a lovely wife and family and stuff like that. I live in a very nice beach town. And, I'm just sitting there in a dirty, shit-soiled bed next to some other psychopath that like skins cats for fun. And we're just both just drifting off into the madness, drifting off into the ether in our own minds, right? I hope that's the case. I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so. This could be an illusion, but oh my God, it is persistent. It is persistent. And also, if I was crazy, I feel like I could imagine a more complex, a more fun delusion than what I am currently going through. Right? Why can't I fly? Why do I not have a yacht? I don't even have a jet ski. What kind of fucking delusion do I have? I don't even have a fucking jet ski. This is some sort of fantasy of mine, and I don't have a couple of wave runners at best. That makes me think. That is the top in my inception scenario, right? You know, with the little totem, he thinks he like looks at it and he's like, "Oh, I'm in a dream." You know, my top is me not having a wave runner. I'm like, okay, there's no wave runner here, so this is probably not a dream. This is not a fantasy of mine. No. Lame, fucking lame. You mean all this is fucking real and shit like that? And all the problems with the world are happening IRL? This is IRL? Ah! Ew! Ew, and the trans and the... Oh my God, and the immigration, and oh my God, the economy is all bullshit too. Oh my fucking God. Oh no. If you guys cared about me even the smallest, slightest little bit, you would sneak into my house and bring some fucking jet skis. So I don't even know, they just appear, right? And then I walk out, it'd be like Christmas morning. I'll be like, yay, it's not real. Oh, thank God. Thank God. And then I go find the highest building I could and just take a header, right? Take a header clean off because I'm like, it's not real, I can fly. And then that'll be it. That'll be it for me. I won't even be able to ride the jet skis. And then I take a bow.
Wealth for the select few, while maintaining the illusion that the American dream was always just around the corner, if it wasn't for them, became far more important than actually ensuring prosperity continued flowing throughout the broader economy. One of the biggest issues, essentially everyone trapped on the bottom.
Frisa, it says, every one of my parents told my teachers he's smart. He just doesn't apply himself, which is a nice way of saying he's stupid. I don't think they were allowed to say he's stupid, but my teachers definitely told that to me. They didn't tell it to my fucking parents, but they told that shit to me, right? Because, like, you know, who are my parents going to believe, me or the teacher? Obviously the teacher. So it's just, I just grew up with very little power. I just grew up with very little power over my circumstances at the time. And it made me a little bitter. Gave me a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. You know? Just a tiny little chip where I'm like, all right, now I have to come here every day. They force me to do work. I don't get paid. And if I don't show up, I go to jail. What the fuck? Who thought of this? Who thought it? And they put me in with all these fucking homosexuals. Like, why is my science teacher a dyke? Why? That doesn't seem like science. That seems like, I don't know, some weird religion. California was a fucked up place. It was a fucked up place with fucked up people. And if I wasn't so mentally strong, if I didn't have the mental fortitude that I do, allegedly, I'm accusing myself of mental fortitude, I might have broken with the rest of those F slurs. You know? I saw a lot of people. Break. Oh, especially when they start so young. Middle school is like I saw a lot of people break. And ruins their lives. Luckily, I wasn't exactly the popular student amongst my teachers. They hated me a lot. They hated me so much. And you know what? Right back at them. Right? Fuck you guys. Fuck you, lazy, good for nothing, constantly marching for more money, even though you don't even do your own fucking jobs. Right? You constantly walk around saying, we need more money. Half the kids here can't even fucking read. Do your job. Then maybe you're going to make more money. You ever think about that? Or here's a crazy idea. Go into the private sector, stupid. But you can't, because then you would have to compete. And that is the entire antithesis of what being a fucking public school teacher is. Isn't it? It's not a career. All right? You are a professional babysitter. Don't act like you're... Well, what is that? Why am I getting notifications from my Xbox on my goddamn computer? I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Look, if teachers could actually predict the future, they wouldn't be teachers. Right? A lot of teachers tell me I was going to be homeless, pushing a shopping cart around and stuff like that, and they would, spit on me and shit. They wouldn't spit on me, but, pretty damn close. But, you're obviously a teacher for a reason. It's because you're bad at predicting the future, amongst other things. And you probably might be a pedophile. There's a strong chance of that being true, too.
Bottom half of this completely preventable K-shaped economy is now facing is the simple reality.
Yeah, teachers are dumb babysitters. They're not even, smart ones. They're just... They're not smart. I'm sorry. I know teachers like to think they're smart. I don't think I've met, a really smart teacher. I've met a bunch of midwit teachers. I don't think I've ever really met a smart teacher. Because if you're smart, you're not going to go and teach. You're going to go and do. Right? You're going to lead your field or something, or at least be competitive. You could be a contender in your field, right? Not like the fucking runner-up of society that is modern teachers. We should absolutely just get rid of the profession entirely. I really think, because our property taxes go entirely to teachers and schools. Well, half of them do. In Florida, soon all of them will. Because we're getting rid of property taxes, but only half of them. The other half is going to go to schools and teachers and stuff like that, because that's so necessary. So soon, half my entire property taxes is going to go to a class of people I hate fervently. I fervently disagree with your entire profession. But I am forced to pay you, regardless if my kids go to school or not, which they're not going to go to your fucking gay-ass little school. They're not doing that. Absolutely not. So yeah, that pisses me off. That makes me angry. failures, absolute failures.
that the roughly $62 trillion in wealth held by the top 10% of baby boomers is no longer actively circulating throughout the broader economy. Due to much of that wealth remaining concentrated inside appreciating assets, retirement accounts, and property values, the velocity of money is now sitting near historic lows, meaning the rate at which money actually moves throughout society has effectively stalled. And while you cannot place this entirely at the feet of baby boomers, this extreme concentration of wealth is resulting.
I met one smart teacher. He retired from his early from his other career and became a teacher at like 55. Okay, fine. I haven't met him. I haven't met that guy. I have not met that guy.
And money no longer circulating back into younger
I
generations.
haven't met the guy who did everything, and now he's like, I want to deal with kids all day. Wait, you want to do what? Wait, you're fine on money. You've achieved in your career, and now you want to deal with kids all day? Can I take a peek at your hard drive, sir? Because there's got to be something going on. There has to be something going on, right? Especially these days. Half the kids are black and stuff and don't even recognize their own reflection. You know, they don't even recognize that's them in the mirror. And the shiny glass, that's some other kid they're gonna try to rob. Why would you become a teacher of that? What just waste your time, right? Why not just like shake salt into your own eyes for 8 hours a day? Just do that instead. That's what I would rather do.
Through new businesses, job opportunities, wages, and broader economic mobility, but instead only benefiting roughly 3 to 4 million baby boomer families. At the same time, boomers now own roughly 41% of all homes in the United States.
That is disgusting. They're only 20% of the population. They own 40% of the houses. So they each have like two. Like on average, a boomer has 2 houses.
Despite representing only around 20% of the population, with many remaining unwilling to sell or downsize due to a wide variety of reasons such as historically low mortgage rates and rising property values, contributing to a collapsing housing turnover as millions of larger family-sized homes remain affected.
No, they'll sell. They'll like reverse mortgage so they can pay for their vacations and their cruises and shit like that, and leave their kids nothing, right? Because they're all like, you gotta pull up. You got to lift yourself up by your bootstraps. Meanwhile, they took an elevator, right? Lift yourselves up by your bootstraps. And they're all like riding. Okay. All right. Sure.
Locked off
Sure,
the
why
market,
not?
despite being empty nesters. And when more affordable housing could be built, well, when 41% of housing is owned by a single cohort and it's rapidly rising in valuation, it's not happening in their backyard. And while younger generations are told that they can't get a job because they're lazy and don't want to work, roughly 66% of baby boomers now plan to work past the age of 65 or never retire at all. And whether this is simply because
Yeah, no, I know a lot of them. It's not like they're needed at their job or anything like that, but they like collecting a paycheck and they like something to do. It's not like they're actually supplying anything of value to society. They're actually getting in the way. They're subtracting value from society. But through certain laws, they can't be fired. They cannot be fired for underperforming or anything like that because it is against the law to fire somebody based on their age after the age of like 45, I think. Under that age, they can fire you all they want. But after that, you're basically set, right? It's just like teachers. You teach for 2 years. You don't have to be good at it, but you teach for 2 years and then you're guaranteed a job for life. For life, right? Doesn't matter what you do. You can just commit crimes the entire time. And thanks to that union contract, you're good. You're set for life. They'll put you in a room with a bunch of other pedophile teachers and you guys can play like gin rummy for the rest of your career.
Because they want to or they have to. This is slowing the natural progression of career mobility throughout the already fragile job market, which again, with an ounce of forward planning, could have been prevented. And while you would hope that the nation's leadership would propose new actions to get us through this complete economic bottleneck, they're just as old. The average age of US CEOs have risen to roughly 61 years old, up from around 51 nearly 2 decades ago, while the 119th Congress now averages nearly 58 years old in the House and almost 64 in the Senate, resulting in there now being
It's old. It's old. It's an old, and no one is, look, they're making decisions that will not affect them. Right? So they don't care if they plunder the system. That they're not going to see the effects for 20 years. They don't give a shit. If it makes them happy now, this is a common boomer tactic. If it makes them happy now, they're going to do it because fuck you. Because fuck you. Fuck the country and fuck you people. Right? I'm here. I want mine. I'm going to get mine. That's the attitude they've had their entire lives. It's the attitude they've had their entire lives. And still to this day, they can't see anything wrong with that. Right? They just have their multiple houses and their cars and their boats and stuff like that. And look, I'm not talking about all boomers. There are poor boomers, but that's your own fault. How you must have been a drug addict. Were you an alcoholic for 50 years? No, because I've known boomer alcoholics that still had multiple houses. So what are you doing? You're just being stupid. You're being stupid, aren't you?
Roughly 20 times more 80-year-olds in Congress than members of Gen Z, alongside there not being a president under the...
Yeah, look at homeboy over here. Wow. Look at him. Okay, I think this is false Biden. Remember we had that conversation between the disconnected earlobes and the connected earlobes? I don't know which one he actually is. He might be the disconnected earlobes guy. So this might be the real Biden. But they'll have two different Bidens, and one of them is a lot more eloquent and like can hold himself up and like, not crap his pants. And then there's the other one that's like on the edge of death. And and I think this is the real one with the disconnected earlobes. Obviously they're two different people. And I'm not taking, this isn't like a gotcha thing. I'm sure all politicians have doubles. I understand that's a thing. But you have the double come in and make the speeches because the original guy just keeps shitting his pants, dude. And all he wants is ice cream. All he wants is the fucking ice cream. And then he gets scared where he is. And he's all like, where am I? He gets angry about it. He gets angry because he doesn't know where he is. He's constantly confused. Have you guys heard much about Biden ever since he left office? I haven't heard a thing. I have heard nothing about Joe Biden since he left office. The poor old man was just strutted around like Weekend at Bernie's for 4 years, right? Not knowing where he was, what he was doing. He was just like, I'm president? What does that mean? The entire time. Meanwhile, some guy, I don't know exactly who it was, just grabs his hand and makes him sign pieces of paper, right? You got to feel bad for him. But I'm sure Joe Biden sold his soul long ago. Sold his soul to the devil. And I'm not being facetious about that or anything. I'm just like, literally he did that. He probably signed a letter in blood selling his soul to the Dark Lord. This is not a euphemism for anything. This is him dealing with the devil in very literal terms.
Age of 70 in the last decade, leaving younger generations.
And look, I'm not saying Trump doesn't. Trump might be the same exact way. Trump might be the same. All of them are politicians. Sure, Trump wasn't a career politician, but now he's in there. Now he's doing the thing. I don't know if I trust a goddamn one of them. I don't think I do. I'm pretty sure I don't. I mean, Trump definitely went to that island. Or maybe not went to the island, maybe ordered it like Uber Eats. Just had a bunch of teenage girls show up at his fucking office. It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be shocked by that. I wouldn't be shocked by that. But they probably all do it, right? They all do it. And it's not just them. It's like mayors, governors, powerful Hollywood elites and stuff like that. They probably all fucking do it. Most of them at least, right? Maybe not Chris Pratt, or maybe not Kevin Sorbo, or like a few of those other guys, right? But a lot of them do. A lot of them sure do.
Attempting to enter adulthood in an economy where wealth, housing, career advancement, and leadership itself remains trapped behind a generation still delaying the nation's future. And while all of this continues being brushed under the rug as the great wealth transfer will eventually solve these issues, I'm here to tell you that just simply isn't going to happen. As of 2026, the oldest baby boomers have only just entered their 80s, with many actively spending down their assets on rising healthcare costs
and partying. These people, you go to one of these retirement homes, like the Villages or something like that, these people party their asses off, dude. They're not like the elderly people of the past, right? They're not what you would consider elders, you know? Like an elder is like somebody who lives in the home and like teaches wisdom to like future generations and like regales them as stories of their past and stuff, and been like, well, now listen here, children, I'll tell you about the one time I beat up Gandhi. And I if I was that kid, I'd be like, yeah, okay, go on, Gramps. Yeah, tell me. You kicked that little Indian's ass. Awesome. I understand he was like 70 pounds, but he had it coming. He had it coming. You know Gandhi had it coming. If anybody had it coming, it was Gandhi and MLK. Those two deserved it, you know. Just MLK got the barking dogs or a hot bullet from a mile away.
long-term care, and retirement. And while Americans over
just a searing hot bullet right through the cranium from a mile away.
the age of 55 now control roughly $124 trillion in wealth, more than half of the projected transfer is expected to remain concentrated among the wealthiest 2% of households, while the bottom
them
half...
fucks can fuck. Well, it's not just, well, like there's like Viagra, there's like boner pills and stuff like that. And, but it's like Molly and stuff. They're doing MDMA and fucking rolling balls, right? In the retirement pool and shit, where like old ladies are doing jazzercise and they're fucking side-eyeing them and be like, yeah, I'm going to tap that fat ass. Yeah. Glenda. I'm going to give me some of that Glenda.
Half of baby boomers are projected to pass down only about $6 trillion, with $18 trillion alone going to charities instead of inheritance, meaning that in the near future, this K-shaped economy is only going to widen.
Pretty sense. I used to wreck Gandhi's shit in Civ. Civilization, that's pretty cool. Right, like, fuck you, Gandhi. What, you try to scam you on everything?
And I just have to take a moment and say that if our only proposed solution is to just wait for baby boomers to die, it's a very embarrassing stage to be in. And while I could continue discussing how both the conscious decisions and refusal to meaningfully challenge the nation's decline...
Who's embarrassed? Why? Why is that embarrassing? Look, if you get actively screwed into your situation, like, let's say you get locked away in a prison, and the only way to get out of the prison is for your captor to die. Are you embarrassed to be there? I mean, like, it's not the greatest thing in the world. You don't want to be in prison, but he ain't letting you out. They're not letting you out, dude. They're calling you lazy and whipping you because they want you to work for their Social Security. You got their bills to pay, right? So they're going to scream at you and call you lazy as much as they can and say it's good for you. Act like they're the moral high ground and stuff. So, what's there to be embarrassed about? It wasn't your fault getting there. It was their fault. You're there. So, I just don't see how this is embarrassing. I can see from like if the playing field was leveled, right? If the currency was still like backed by gold and stuff, and like it was, monetarily sound, and everything was on a level playing field. Let me just say that. Then, yeah, of course, yeah, you should be able to make money just like they were able to make money. But it's not. That's not it. That's not it at all. They ran at $40 trillion in debt, plus another $1 trillion a year for their Social Security so they can fucking drop Molly and bang Glinda. So, like, what? What do you want me to be embarrassed? They should be embarrassed. They should be, but they won't be because they have no shame. You can't teach a 70-year-old shame. You can't. I wish you could, but they're way past that. They are way past that. So what are you going to do? Just fucking shrug your shoulders. You smile and you nod and you just, okay, boomer. Okay. Okay, whatever you say, because arguing with them is not productive for anybody. They're not going to get it. Nothing you say is going to resonate with them. It is a hopeless endeavor. So you smile and you nod. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's going to piss them off worse. Or maybe not. It really doesn't matter. These people do not matter anymore. They think they do because they have gigantic houses and very healthy bank accounts. But that doesn't mean you matter. That means you pilfered a system before we were even born. It doesn't make you matter, right? It makes you wrong. It makes you a thief. It is a generation of thieves that want respect that their elders got because their elders back in the Dizzy, right, were actually set up a society that could flourish, right? And they just clear cut that forest. They just clear cut it. And they're all like, why? What's with all the boomer hate? Well, I mean, you kind of fuck things up. You fuck things up real bad. That's why. Because you fuck things up so badly that you're not even getting grandchildren in most cases. That's why.
Resulted in the complete degradation of our infrastructure, healthcare system, the cost of living crisis, the incomprehensible amount of debt bankrupting the nation's future, how Social Security has been warned.
Dan Snott says the youngest boomer turned 62 this year. We still have at least another 20 years to deal with them. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. For reasons that I've told you guys before. I don't think they're going to last another 20 years. I don't think they're going to last another 10 years. They might have 5. They might have 5 left. Before the old cough juice they took back in 2020 starts accumulating damage inside their cells. They all took it. They all wanted to hang on to that precious sweet life, right? The media came in and told them, like, if you don't take this, you're going to die. And you know where you're going? I think a lot of them secretly do. A lot of them, like, in the back of their heads, like, am I going to go to heaven? No, probably not. Probably not. Almost, like, really, almost certainly not. And I'm sorry for you. But it's just, I mean, look at you. You have a gigantic house, though. So that's something. So they cling to life, right? Anything that might kill them, they're obviously, forgive the pun, deathly afraid of. Because they just want to hang on to this sweet morsel that was their privileged lives. Just hang on by the fingernails if they have to. But no, it will be ripped away from them. It will. Because they got greedy. Naturally. Naturally, they got greedy. They wanted more and more and more and more. And it bit them in the ass. And here we are.
Of insolvency since the 1980s, with not a single meaningful reform taking place, or even the collapse of basic American community and decency itself. I instead want to take this time to explain the severity of millennials representing just 16% of Congress.
They all throw their pills in a fish bowl and take them indiscriminately. Like, throw them into a bowl with water and then just drink out of that. So it all hits them at once, dude. Or, you know, they go to the fucking party at the old folks' home and they're swapping medications and shit like that. It's like a key party. Everyone throws their medications into a bowl and then you just take out what you take out and pop it and see what happens. That's a fucking cool ass party. You could get heart medication, you can get some Viagra, you can get like a Lunesta or something like that, right? You like, one person came in fucking rocking Klonopin. And it's like, holy shit, dude. There's a lot of Vicodin. They love their Vicodin. And hey, no judgment here. Vicodin's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. How about that party, though? I would like to be invited to that party. But if it was millennials, you know what it would be? It would just be like Adderall and Vyvanse and fucking Xanax and shit like that. And there would be SSRIs in there too. So I don't know if I'm as willing to put my hand into that bowl, right? Because you're going to pull some shit out that's going to change you. It's going to, like, you might get lucky and get like a Vyvanse. Or you might get lucky and get like a real tasty Xanny bar. But, like, there's some other things in there that's gonna, you know, there's some other things in there. I'll go to the boomer one with the Vicodins and the fucking boner pills. Lace me up, brother.
Despite being the largest living generation. To do this, I spoke with Anthony Deng, a disabled U.S. Marine Corps combat veteran, Harvard graduate, Gold Star family member, and whistleblower, currently running for California's 15th Congressional District, to describe the importance of Americans beginning to fight for what's right.
Hey, I'm Anthony Deng, and I'm running for Congress in California's 15th District, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area.
You're not going to win. Sorry. The political game is rigged. It just is. It just is. It's rigged. It's been rigged. It's just like, that's another thing where we have to actually reset society completely. This entire democracy that we run in is just obviously fake. It's obviously fake. And I don't believe democracy is a good way to go anyway, because most people are fucking retarded, right? Not everyone deserves to have an equal vote. I've seen this just because I have eyes and ears and I walked around this planet long enough to know that most of you should not vote. Most of you should not have the right to vote. And look, you do have the right to vote, but they don't have to count it if they don't want to. There's nothing that says you voted this way, and so now that no. It goes to the electoral college, right? And then they decide who they're going to vote for, which has nothing to do with your vote. Really, if everybody voted for one candidate, but the guy in the electoral college just decided to go for another guy, you can't stop that. Your vote is a suggestion. I don't know why people think it's a right to vote, because your vote literally means nothing. It means nothing. Why are you wasting your goddamn time? Because they're idiots, of course. Right? They're idiots. They're fucking idiots. They're retarded. And they want something to do. They want to feel important. They want to have that communal thing. Oh, I'm making a difference. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I joined the Marine Corps the day after my brother Andrew was killed in action in the Iraq War. I was wounded in combat, lost close friends, and came home physically and mentally broken. I felt discarded by society. And, this was exacerbated by the 2008 financial crisis.
You got some big ass headphones. A big ass. You can't find anything a little bit more low profile than that.
Used the GI Bill to get me through community college, then UC San Diego, and then Harvard for my master's. I helped create multiple veteran nonprofits to help veterans transition into civilian life. I worked at the Pentagon providing oversight on multiple defense programs, and then worked for a major defense contractor where I whistleblew since they were siphoning.
There will be a couple of counterfeits with Fent at that party. Oh well. Oh no. Fentanyl. Oh no. Fucking lace me up. I don't care. Whatever, as long as it's not too much fentanyl. I'll toss it back and then I'll be on fentanyl. Okay, great. I'll do the I can't breathe thing. Somebody dresses up like a cop. We'll get a cop stripper, right? The cop stripper, but like a female one. And I'll have her put her knee on my neck. And I'll stuff a fake 20 down her bra. There you go. Now do the thing.
trillions of taxpayer dollars to build obsolete tech. When we think about who will be the ones
He used the GI Bill to put himself through community college. I know how, like he must have been pretty poor. I don't think community college costs that much.
do this work, while we're young, we think it's our parents who will do something. And then as we get older, we think it's someone else more qualified, or someone who has more skin in the game, or some talking head wearing a suit.
Dan says, my boomer coworker keeps asking if I voted yet. I keep telling her voting is ineffective, especially in California. Well, yeah. Yeah, look, half the voters in California aren't even citizens. They're not citizens of the United States. And they don't have IDs or anything. Look, they could just stuff the ballot box with whatever they want. And what are you going to do to stop that? Yeah, like there's like a million people called Jose Martinez. Or something like that. You just can't track them down. There's really no California is locked. California is locked, and maybe soon Texas will be too. Who knows? Who knows? A lot of people are trying to run from California and going to like Texas and stuff like that, and still voting blue, which is like fucking retarded, dude. Why would you? I'm like whatever. It's just fucking stupid. See, people do not deserve the right to vote. People do not deserve the right to vote. But I know, and you know, that it doesn't matter even if they do. I'm going to go, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order a bunch of those I voted stickers. And I'm going to send them out to you guys. Well, you guys just go fucking buy it. And just wear it anyway. I voted. Just put it right there. I voted. Right there. And they're going to be like, oh, I see you voted. And I'm like, no, I didn't, because it's stupid. And then watch their faces just like go, huh? What? And then I'll fucking call them an idiot. I am a shining beacon of happiness in my town.
No, it has to be you. Apathy and feeling powerless. It is by design. The powers that be want you to be disengaged.
He's right.
So they can continue to take...
He's right. He's right about that. Yeah. Apathy. Look, they want you to feel like you can't do anything. Which you kind of can't. That doesn't involve like so much blood. If it involves so much blood, like so much blood, bro, then yeah, you could do that. Just like every political revolution ever. It's never been like, oh, we're going to work with the system and change things from the inside out. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You actually have to have some heads roll. Literally. People have to be separated from their bodies. Their heads have to be separated from... I'm not encouraging this. It's going to be terrible, but... I mean, if you want something effective, the only real vote that works is a bullet. That is the vote that works. Not condoning anything, especially not violence. Not doing that. But throughout all of history, every time there was some sort of political revolution that actually did something, a number of people had to die. A lot of people had to die. And this is going to be no different. This time it's going to be no different. So get that out of your fucking stupid head where you're like, oh, we just, got together and had a real grassroots. Grassroots ain't going to do shit. Grassroots are not going to do shit. I told you. The only thing that will work is violence. Yet again. And they know this. They know this. This is why they're prepping with like RoboCops and shit like that, and those little robot dogs with like M16s on their back. They know people are this close. People are this close to just having it. Just had it. They're this close. And they're not like, no, we're gonna hang on to it this time. They won't. It's impossible. It's just impossible. But they're going to try real hard, and they're probably going to kill a lot of people. They've already killed a lot of people. Don't think they haven't. They've already killed a lot of people.
What is yours while you're too busy, too tired, too sick, too numb to do anything about it. We're seeing it now across the world. You see it with AI data centers, they're taking our jobs. You see it with those same data centers being built against the will of the residents. You see it when corporations poison our drinking water.
Is that an accident? I understand it's not like an accident. It's like, oh, well, we just didn't want to like pay to dispose of it properly, so we dumped it in the reservoir, right? It's not like we were trying. We didn't want to poison a bunch of people. But I think they did want to poison a bunch of people. That's what I think. I don't think they're doing this because we just wanted to save money. Yeah, that is a motivator. But I think really they did want to poison a bunch of people. I think it's not out of apathy either. It is out of direct malice of like literally poisoning the well. This is not a new phenomenon. This is a very old phenomenon. So I don't think poisoning the well is unintended. And no one ever goes to jail for that. Maybe some peon, right? At the bottom of the ladder, they're like, fine, you can have this guy, right? He works for minimum wage and he has like 2 kids that he's raising alone. He's like, yeah, have him, right? But the guy who actually made the decision to do it was like, he's scot-free, right? He got a bump. he got a bump. He got extra stock. He got like $1 million bonus. He good.
And what? Do you think it's just going to stop there? They will devalue your land and then they will take it from you. And then what? You think they're just going to stop because they're finally satiated? This will never...
He's right, dude. The dude's speaking truth, but I don't think you're going to win. Sorry, the game is rigged. Have you not played New Vegas? It was rigged from the start.
Never stop until we all collectively say so. Until we let them know that we, the people, have had enough. So I personally think that it is an inevitability that people who have been trapped by a broken system that benefits only the rich and powerful, who have been betrayed by our leaders who have sided with corporations over the working class, who have been failed by decades of dysfunction, those people will rise up and become our future leaders and bring us into a new era of democracy.
No, it's the cult, right? Because I'm going to run for office too. And they're going to look at my social media history and they're going to be like, we can't fucking platform this guy. We can't do that. And I'll be like, I'm going to do it anyway. And then they're going to try to do a smear campaign. And they're going to do interviews with me on CNN. And they're all like, why do you love the N-word? I'll be like, it's fun to say. Next question. They're all like, don't you think it's wrong? I'll be like, nope. Next question. Why are you an asshole? That's a good question. That's a very good. How much time do you have? This is a limited program, isn't it? There is a list of reasons that I am an asshole, but a very strong top contender would be I don't like you people. I don't like you people. I don't like the people at the top. I don't like these fucking people that say, "Oh, you can't say that." The people that fucking hide behind morality to engineer society. I don't like those people. I don't like people who use tons and tons of money to shit on everybody else. I don't like you talking head motherfuckers. I don't like you. That's why I'm an asshole. That's the main reason I'm an asshole. And then they're going to be, I figure there's going to be a long period of silence after that. And then they're going to end the show.
It all starts here with us. Thanks.
And so what I hope that we're beginning to recognize is that
I got it all worked out, boys. I got it worked out. I got the whole plan set, right? They're going to be like, It's just gonna go blank. It's gonna go black. And then I'm gonna feel quite accomplished. I'm gonna feel very proud of myself. And sure, there's probably gonna be mobs of people in front of my house. Don't step on my property. That would be a mistake.
What Tony was stating, it's going to be up to us to be the ones that create
Because I will open fire.
change. Traditionally speaking, you would have had
Not
previous generations
even, like-
spending their entire lives laying the infrastructure.
I'm not, the property isn't big enough for me to miss. That's all I'm saying.
So by the time that we entered adulthood, we would have had stable foundations to raise kids and create the process all over again. They would have spent their entire lives planting seeds. So by the time that we entered adulthood, we had the shade from those trees to be able to plant more seeds and have a more prosperous future. And
Ben says people like me are not allowed to get blocked on Twitter for hate speech. Oh, man. Good. Not good that you get banned, but good that you're doing hate speech. Because when you get labeled as a hate speech, it means you're right over the target. It means you're saying something true that hurt. You can lie all day long on Twitter. You can lie your ass off. But they only get angry when what you say is true. Right? They only label it hate speech or misinformation when what you say is true. There is lie after lie after lie on Twitter. I'll do it. I'll do it just for funsies. But like, if you say something that is true that they don't like, then it becomes hate speech. Then it becomes misinformation. So if you get labeled for hate speech, just consider it a bullseye. That means what you said was so goddamn accurate, it fucking made somebody mad. Perfect. Bravo, good work. Keep it up. Keep it up.
in my opinion, I think that what you should want at the end of your time is to be able to see the prosperity of the community, of the society, of the nation that you were a part of, because you were able to be a part of building that. But somehow it was tricked. I guess not somehow. I explained it in this video. It was tricked into believing, how much wealth do you have? That's your prosperity. We're supposed to have elders, not older people. It's supposed to be elders giving wisdom and experience and knowledge and emotional leadership to young people so they know how to be able to handle a complex society.
He's right. He's absolutely right. We don't have that. We don't have elder guidance and stuff like that. And like, kids don't have respect for their elders. And you know what? Good. I mean, like, look, respect isn't just given. You don't just, oh, look, I'm 65 now. Now I'm going to be respected because I'm older. Well, you can't do that when you spent your entire life screwing people over. When you've destroyed society. When you imported millions of Mexicans just so it would be a little cheaper to get your lawn cut. When you absolutely decimated the gift that was America, that your ancestors built and then bequeathed to you. And then you're just like, why are these kids so disrespectful? It's like you seem, that's entitlement. You literally think you're entitled to respect for doing not nothing, but the opposite of the right thing. You go around saying everybody's entitled. Now, where's my goddamn respect? Well, you didn't earn it. I'm sorry. You didn't earn it. Yeah, in the past, it was a thing where you got to a certain age and people would automatically respect you because there was a history behind that. You went to war. You fucking toiled in the fields and stuff like that, laid bricks and stuff that actually made this country a place where we can live and have children and then propagate our genes into the future. But you didn't do that, did ya? Did ya? You did blow on the fucking dance floor. You banged hippies in the mud at Woodstock. And then you cried boo-hoo at a losing war. You did nothing. You did nothing. And then the entire time, you felt so entitled that this land was just meant for you, that this was built for you. And not succeeding generations after you, but specifically for you. And now here we are, years later. And you want more? Go fuck yourself. Please and thank you. Go fuck yourself as much as you possibly can. Right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to sit on a pile of goddamn money that you got from working hard and being a genius. And, you're going to enjoy your vacations and go on your cruises and stuff like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, people aren't going to respect you. People are never going to respect you. They're not going to remember you fondly. They're not going to be like, oh, I miss you so much. No, of course not. But you got to have a good life. That was the trade. That was the trade. All these fairy tales you hear from like Northern Europe, like Rumpelstiltskin or the Pied Piper and stuff like that. They all had one common theme. It was exchanging wealth for your children. You ever think there was a reason they made those stories like that? And look at you now. You're rich, but you gave up your kids for it. That's what you did. You fell for the oldest goddamn trick in the book. The oldest trick in the book. And you're like, why does nobody respect me? Well, because you're a fool. You are a fool. You are a generation of fools. Some of them are probably, look, I talk in generalities, of course. Some of them may not be. But that doesn't matter. That shit doesn't matter.
The things that I will just never understand this, is older individuals saying, young people don't know how to do anything anymore.
Royce goes on cruises. Yeah, I'm going on that cruise too. So what? Shut up. Shut up.
Who raised them? Who taught them? Who trained them?
Damn, Sulk for president. Tag that speech. Yeah. I want you to clip everything. And then, when I do run for office, eventually we'll run for office. Or maybe I'll just take it. Right? Because what's the point of running for something? Because voting is fucking gay. Voting is for gay tards. So maybe I'll just take it. Maybe I'll just rally the troops. You guys are the seeds, right? It's going to spread out from here. It's going to be like one of Knobs Dog's famous MLMs. And then we're going to take that shit. We're just going to fucking take it. Maybe one day. Who knows?
These skill sets.
I'm obviously kidding. Don't fucking come knock on my door. Please don't.
They don't just flourish out of
Hey, Freeside, thank you for the sub.
nowhere. They have to be instilled. And the unfortunate reality is one of the biggest reasons why they weren't instilled is because the upper portion, the elders, didn't have it. And again, this isn't for everybody. My parents are baby boomers. And I will be the first one to say that the only reason that I am anything is because of them. Because of what they instilled in me. They told me from a very, very, very young age that you live for service. You don't live.
Look, he's probably right. And there was good baby boomer parents. But that wasn't most of them. Most of them were like concerned about making their lives good. Most of them were concerned about how much money they can make. How could they be a somebody, right? And money was falling. It's not like they were like competing to like survive, right? They had plenty. There was plenty of food. Everyone had housing and stuff like that. It's not like they were competing to survive. They were competing to outdo each other. It really was not about, it was not focused on their kids. They may say that. They'll be like, I did this for you. I did this. So that's why you're living in a giant palace. And then, like, your kids live in a trailer or their fucking car, right? Well, he's got to pull himself up like by his bootstraps like I did. Well, you didn't, though, did you? Did you? You had a ladder built for you that you destroyed on your way up. Didn't you? This is why it's not even worth arguing with boomers. They have this personal mantra that they are hardworking geniuses, and like CNN and Fox News and all those MSNBC, all that bullshit has been pumping it into them still to this day for their entire lives. You cannot break that kind of programming. It is unbreakable, right? When you fool somebody, it is very, very, very difficult to tell them, to get them to understand that they have been fooled. It is a million times harder. And especially after decades of propaganda and constantly gaslighting these people, it's not worth to do in their final years, in their final moments. It is what it is now. There's nothing to be fixed. You have to nod and smile. Grit your teeth and bear it. Soon it will be on us. Soon it will be on us to fucking sweep up the mess, and we're going to have to re-engineer society completely, especially with the dawn of a new era of technology. We have AI, we have quantum computers, we have high-tech robotics and stuff like that. We're going to have androids soon. Literal androids that might be indistinguishable from actual people. There's going to be very serious philosophical debates, existential debates about what are we? What is a soul? How do we structure society that would be fair, but also like, economically stable, right? Where we can't just have this techno-feudalism that we currently have. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be the biggest challenge in human history. Thus far. I don't know what the future holds. But if we don't pull it off, it's not going to hold much. It's just not. It is something that we have to do. Unless we want to go extinct, which could be. It really, really could be. Right? I'm not saying it's like extinction level event, but like once the dominoes start to fall, they fall fast,
Live for yourself. Your back isn't broken. Pick up that trash. Help out that person. Push in that chair.
Rich people will have that. We will probably be dead. Look, the goal, hear my goal. The goal is not that. My goal is that people who are not rich still get to survive. You're probably right, and that's exactly how they're engineering it. Or maybe they're going to like engineer some weird Elysium-style society. The goal would be not to let that happen. Because what differentiates in a world that is full of like abundance, right? With automation, quantum computing, AI, and stuff like that, manufacturing is going to be a thing done in factories with no lights, right? It's not going to take some little Filipino boy making Nike sneakers to like actually provide for the world. It's just going to appear essentially. So at that point, what is the point of even having money? What makes somebody who is rich different than somebody who is not rich? Nothing. They both have equal access to resources. Right? They both will have equal access to resources. But they do want you dead. They do want you dead, and the rich want to be the only ones around. But after all that, money will be pointless. So, what's the difference between rich and poor? There's not going to be a difference. We have to start thinking about that now.
Hold that door open. Be a gentleman. My stepdad would read to me before we would go to bed how to be a gentleman. How do you treat ladies? How do you act as a man? How do you lead? How do you lead when you don't have a voice? These were things that I was raised with. But it's because when I look at my parents, they had those characteristics. They have those values. When I'm struggling within my everyday life, I go to them because they've already experienced it. I know that I'm going to gain something from them. Unfortunately, most people don't have that. The fact that there is a generation called the latchkey generation is a failure in our society. And you can pretend all you want that you had to go or they had to go to work, because if they didn't, then you would be on the street starving. But I just have to say, I think that there were a lot of families that had food in their fridge and a roof over their heads, and they ignored the true treasure, which was their kids, their family, because they were pursuing the elusive American dream.
The finer things, right? They made their lives better at the expense of ours. They made their lives better at the expense of ours.
I think the biggest loss that we really have is
Dan
that...
Snot says, oh yeah, latchkey kids. It's not a good thing, Dan. Being a latchkey kid, look, coming home from school and then locking the door behind you because you're the only one in the house is not a good thing, right? It's not a good thing. This is another problem with feminism. Even though, look, there's abundant problems with feminism, but this is another one, right? Where it was just expected that the wife also got a job. You don't want to be a stay-at-home wife cooking food and spending time with her kids. Yucky. That's slave work. You are oppressed. No, you need to go get a high-power inner-city job where you do nothing but itty-bitty titties and a bob. Itty-bitty titties and a bob. I would shoot myself if I worked in that office. If I worked in that office with a bunch of women standing around fucking playing patty cake. Yeah, like you're 30 goddamn years old. You're 30 goddamn years old. This is an office. Do you see jump ropes? And she's like, yeah, I have a jump rope. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I would paint the drop ceiling with my fucking brains. That's what I would do. I would just, right? Thankfully, I don't work in that environment. And then I come to find out that they make more than me. I'm like, what? They don't even do anything. Spend all day fucking making up rhymes and painting their fingernails. The fuck is this? The fuck is this? What is an HR department? Where you just stir up drama and get in people's business? Are you serious? God damn it. What happened, dude? What happened to the offices back in like Mad Men, where you get to work at 9 a.m. and you fucking pour yourself a glass of scotch from the break room? It's not even you brought your own scotch. There was scotch provided in the break room. And then people would go and be like, yeah, some people say I have a drinking problem, but that doesn't exist now. Drinking problems don't exist. We just all drink all the time. And then I smacked the secretary's ass. And she's the only woman who works here. And she loves it. She loves it. And if she doesn't, we'll fire her. Better times when we were actually like landing on the moon and shit like that. And like making huge progress leaps and stuff. And now it's just like itty bitty titties and a bob. Gen Z plus and a blah blah blah. It's just like shut up. Shut the fuck up. Men have been emasculated. They have been absolutely emasculated. That's the worst part of it. That's the worst part of this entire society. It's like now you get some fucking fat turd with a red beard going like, look at my Funko Pops. Like, oh my God. I would hang you. I would, like, me and the townspeople would get together with pitchforks and torches, and we would throw a rope over a tree branch and have a good old time doing it. But now that's just the thing. You like, oh, you like Star Wars? I like Star Wars. Let's go to Disney and spend $30,000 going to fucking Disney twice a year. Oh, yeah. And I just sit there. I'm like, what's that guy's name? John Wayne? I just sneer like, ugh. Disgusting. I guess you can see why I don't work in an office. I think you guys get it. Do you think my personality would meld well in an office? Do you think I'd be like, oh, hey Chip, how you doing? Oh, yeah, how's the knee? Is it good? Yeah. Yeah, I got those reports for you right here. Yeah, it's just, I like being a team player. Oh, here's Becky. Here comes Becky. And she's like, oh my God. I went to this Mexican place over the weekend and it had the best margaritas. Oh my God, you have to go. You have to go. No, I'm not going to do it. No. Fuck you, Becky. Fuck you and your bum knee, Pete. Fuck both of you. And then, hold on, I'm getting a call. Yeah, they want me in HR. So I got to go. And I get fired. And I'd be like, yeah, I was waiting for this. Yeah, I understand. No, I'm just surprised it took this long.
In this pursuit of material pleasure, is that...
Shimo says, case of the Mondays, am I right? Somebody's got a case of the Mondays over here, am I right? I will set this place ablaze. All this shit, all these fucking cubicles are made out of very flammable material. Not because they came like that, but I've been planning this for a while, and so I've been stuffing them with cotton.
We gave up what American culture once was, and it was community. Yeah, it was individuality, but it was like we were all doing it in the pursuit of a greater good. We don't have that. And so the issue that young people have to do now is they have to overcome, we're going back to Gilded Age wealth disparity, a collapsing job market, housing market, car market, healthcare, cost of living crisis.
Ardenshire says you'd think HR would be replaced by robots by now. Not really sure what they do. I'll tell you what HR does. It keeps women in the workplace so they don't have children. So it'll never be replaced by robots. Not for the foreseeable future. It is a useless department, right? Women don't belong in the workplace. But here they are. And the government gets to take, they get half of that, right? They get half of that. They take taxes from women too. And not only that, they get twice the amount of workers, even though half the workers are just shittier. But they get twice the amount of fucking taxes, and they control the population like that. They keep women from staying home and having babies. That is the reason. That's the entire feminist agenda. That's why, that's how it started. It's not about empowering women, because that's a lie. That's a lie. You're not empowered by going to a fucking job 5 days a week. Power is taken from you. The power comes from having kids and then raising those kids as you see fit. But now those kids go to a fucking public school where they have some fucking lesbian teacher tell them about scissoring. This is how you scissor, kids. And then you're they're jotting down notes. Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom would never teach me this. She loves me. But she can't, because she's busy fucking making nursery school rhymes at the fucking office with her besties. With her office buddies. Right? And they have margaritas on Tuesdays and stuff like that. And it's loud. But for some reason, there's no information being exchanged. How is it so loud when there's no useful information or information in general being exchanged? It's just everybody's waiting to goddamn talk. Everybody's waiting their turn to talk. That's it. So yeah, I wouldn't do well in an office. I wouldn't knock it out of the park. I wouldn't be the team player that goes like, hey, are you going to do racquetball later? No! 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 God, no! I'm not spending more time with you. No, I don't want to go play racquetball with you later.
But the biggest issue is that we're having to recreate culture. Because what we have is a culture of greed and self-serving interest. You can't address these other things if we're all just fighting for what little scraps we can have. That's one of the biggest things I notice with young people. I've never had a
TV shows women are incredibly smart. The man is low IQ dope who can't get anything right. You know what that's called? That's called propaganda. It's called propaganda, you know, and companies do that for a few different reasons. First of all, 80% of the expendable budget of a household is spent by the woman. So naturally, commercials and stuff are pointed at them. Men don't really spend their money like women. Women will buy just. Jess has a list of commercials. Every time a commercial comes on, she's like, oh, I like that commercial because of this and this and this and this reason and this reason. And then she'll see another commercial and be like, I didn't like that commercial. It was too much this and this and this and this. And I didn't see either of those commercials, even though I was sitting right next to her. They just fucking passed through my eyes and then went right out the back of my head. Right out the back of my head. It didn't even process. It didn't even like kick around in my skull and be like, I really do like Downey. It is the quicker picker upper. Well, okay, that one did, yes. But I mean, like, most of the time they don't. Wait, I was thinking Bounty. See, it didn't. It didn't process. It didn't register, right? But like for women, this is like, they're like tiny little novellas, right? There's like stories and like the mom comes home tired, exhausted from work and shit like that. And she's like, oh, now I have to cook dinner and stuff. And my dumb, fat, retard husband is sitting there on the couch watching football, right? And what am I going to do as a fucking hardworking, busy businesswoman? Oh my God. And then fucking here comes Hamburger Helper, who's going to fucking finger blast her later that night. Because he's solving all the goddamn problems. He's solving all of them. All of them. That fucking glove. It's propaganda.
A conversation with a person my age when it wasn't, yeah, I'll never be able to afford a home. Not, think about all of the families out there that won't be able to.
Couch Turping says he hates when I talk. No, honey, I don't. I don't hate when you talk. I don't. I listen. I sit there and I listen. I'm like, And I'm learning, and there's things going on in my head that I just won't share with you because it would just be too much. It would just be too much, you know. I love you though. I love when you talk, and I love when you share your opinions on commercials. Sometimes though, it's like, okay,
to have the stability and structure to raise kids. Something outside of
Sulk is proving why we need a female president. I would love to hear more about that comment, Ben. I don't know why.
ourselves.
I don't know why that would be a good
something
idea.
that I always said.
Look, the president, I don't look. It's just no. I don't care who the president is. I don't care who the president is. It's not like they actually do anything different from the last guy. Right? When Obama came in and said, like, oh, it's going to be change. And the guy who did the Obey posters with, like, Andre the Giant, now he's doing Obama posters, right? It's like, change. Change. What changed? A lot of shit for the negative, right? But I don't think that was strictly due to Obama. I think that was just what the plan was. That was just in the plan, right? I think these people sit around. These people are already rich, right? They're just like, okay, yeah, I'm the president, and I'm going to do exactly what the banks tell me to do again. Yeah. I just don't think it's just, it's not the same presidents as we had before, like in the fucking, well, I don't even know. I'm not like a history expert. Okay? So maybe it was the same. Maybe it's always been the same. I know the history that we have is probably not 100% true. I know that for a fact. In fact, I know that is an absolute fact. The history we have is just kind of some fuzzy narrative that they're constantly changing to benefit themselves, right? If you start rewriting history, which they do right now, they're knocking down statues and they're changing fucking science books and history books and shit like that. And like, they just do it to suit their needs at the time. And it's like, so who knows? Who knows what kind of fucking weird ass history that has actually happened? I think most of the history we have is probably utter and complete bullshit. There's some things that actually happen, yeah. But like they're framed so distorted that it doesn't paint a fair picture in any real way. And they do this on purpose, right? They don't want you to know your history. They don't want you to know where you came from because you might have a sense of pride. You might have a sense of community. You might have a sense of nationalism. Can't have any of that. No, you're all fucking cogs and you're all replaceable. You're all bullshit. You're all bullshit, interchangeable. There's no difference between men and women or Filipino and fucking African, right? Everyone's the goddamn same. We can replace you with anybody, literally anybody at all. And it's going to be the same exact thing. We know that's not true. We know that's not true. They know that's not true. But they want us to think it's true. And there's so many stupid people out there that, like, you know, be like, yeah, okay, I accept the narrative. Is it stupidity or is it just laziness? Little column A, little column B. I don't know.
Hey, it just happened. When I was stepping outside of my car, I almost stepped right on a piece.
It was Kings. You know, you generate an AI picture of a black samurai and they're all like, that was it. That was it. We did all, and all these fucking Japanese people came in and they stole what was ours, right? We invented the katana. I don't know how those people believe that shit. Like, they know what AI is, right? They know that you can just make pictures of shit. And they're all like, I believe this with every ounce of my soul. Really? Oh my God. Oh. It's very concerning. So there is a subsect of people. And I'm not talking specifically just black people. But there is a subsect of people that just fall for shit. Like hook, line, and sinker. Just fall for it. Like, no, there's nothing in their brain that will like, wait a second, that's not real. No, they're like, that's real as shit right there. Yep, knew it. They just fall for that shit. And it's more people than you would want to think. You know, I actually I have more faith in my chat. Right? Because if you guys sit around long enough to hear me fucking vent off about all my gripes I have with society, then maybe you're actually going to be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't believe anything. Maybe we shouldn't believe absolutely everything. And there's more people like you. There's more people out there like you. We just need to find them. They need to find us, right? Form some shit up. But there is a concerning amount of stupidity out there. I know you feel it. I feel it. We all feel it. We've seen it every single day. And the problem is they see these stupid people and then they want them to reproduce. They want these people to have as many kids as possible. And somebody out there that actually questions the narrative or like might even give the slightest bit of resistance. You know what you do with those people? You tell the women to go to the city and get jobs because you want to be a busy business lady. Meanwhile, fucking LaFonda has 9 kids and you got to pay for that too. You got to pay for that too. It is replacement. It is replacement. It's replacing you with somebody more malleable. Somebody that's not even going to fucking attempt, or even if they do try to attempt to take control, they wouldn't understand how most of this shit works. You need a certain level of IQ to run a first world country. You know? The citizens of a first world country need to have an IQ of at least 100 on average to be able to run it. I mean, the Japanese are like 106, and they have a nicer culture, right? They got good stuff. But if you replace that with Wakandans, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And the people in charge know that, right? The people in charge know that. They don't want to have to fucking deal with that. They don't want to have to deal with incessant questions that are difficult to answer, right? They don't want to have to deal with people plotting. They want to be able to control everything. And then they're just going to push in a bunch of people from like the Middle East and fucking Africa and India and shit like that. And then they're just going to push out everybody that built this country. And then it's going to be easy to control. It'll be very easy to control because, well, the reasons I just gave.
Piece of gum. It wasn't Jeff Bezos that spit that gum out. It was someone that decided, I'm not going to chew the gum just a little bit longer to put it in a wrapper in a trash can. I'm going to spit it right outside my door because it's what serves me. And so what I really am trying to get at here is that I think that a lot of people, there's some portion of people that watch these videos and they think all you're doing is whining. This isn't.
We have always known masses are stupid and dangerous. Why we have always promoted individualism. Masses are stupid and dangerous. I feel like people tend to like gravitate towards the lowest common denominator. If you need proof of this, go to X. Go to X. Midwits get a lot of followers. Midwits get a lot of followers. And it's like, because most people are midwits. Most people are at the top of the bell curve, you know? So, like, a midwit says something, a bunch of other midwits are like, yeah, oh, yeah, I was thinking that thing too. You're really smart. But it's really not. It's just like you guys are all kind of thinking the same. And so this gets bumped up in the algorithm, right? And the same thing happens for everything, right? It's just like midwits are the most common demographic. And so they do better on like X and social media and stuff. And like also women. Women are all kind of midwits though. That's just how it is.
Creating change. Where are the solutions?
Yeah.
I can't propose the solutions for these massive systemic decay if we can't even agree on like, do you care about the other human next to you? Right? Like, that is a massive issue. We have to make sure that we're aligned on actually wanting to be in service first. And it's really difficult to do so because if you can't pay your bills, well, is picking up trash or helping somebody going to be able to do that? No. But it's the right thing.
He's talking about picking up trash and stuff like that. And like, you know, being a community member and stuff. And look, I'm for that. Really, cleaning up your community is great. However, it's a little tough when they import millions of people who throw trash directly into the river. You know? You know what I mean? Like you import 1 million Indians. Their rivers look like that for a reason. Because they throw trash directly into the river. They don't care. It's gone to them, so they don't give a shit. So, but like, you don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. And it's tough to combat. You know? It's just like, if one guy's a litter bug, and then you go and pick it up and be like, well, that was a little rude, and you pick up his trash and throw it in the trash can. If 1 million Indians come in and start shitting everywhere, and then just throwing trash out of their cars and fucking doing that, dude, it's just like, what are you supposed to do? We all supposed to just follow a bunch of Indians around cleaning up after them? No, we can't do that. No. That fucking pisses me off. That fucking disgusts me more than anything. I hate it when people just throw their trash wherever. Like you're a goddamn animal. You're a godless animal. You're just dumping it wherever it is. You just fucking throw it out the window. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And you can't talk to them because they won't care and they won't understand. And it's just like, what? It came from the earth. It's going back to the earth. And you're all like, well, that's actually kind of sound logic, but that's not how we do things. And then they're like, India is the greatest. But don't send me back there.
Thing to do.
I know, no fucking way I'm ever going back to that shithole.
And I think that the more that we start doing the little things in our life, like I always say, picking up trash, pushing in chairs, whatever it is, I think the more that we do that, the more that we actually find the good things in life. We start to find the other helpers in the world. That's what Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers. And that builds...
I never watched Mr. Rogers. I think that was before my time. But he's younger than I am. So maybe I just didn't watch Mr. Rogers.
Community. To where I could do a video like this, and maybe I do propose actual change. And instead of speaking to a bunch of individuals, now I'm speaking to 5 people because they're watching on a TV. They're listening to it in the car ride. Now I'm able to do more, and I'm able to get the message out even more. I think that I just want to push back a bit because a lot of people are saying, again, all you do is complain. This isn't creating anything. This isn't, all it is talk.
Am I complaining? You can answer honestly. And if I am, that's fine. I don't go. Look, I wouldn't be complaining if there weren't things to complain about. But there's very real societal issues that there needs to be complained about, right? If we just all turned a blind eye to fucking trash on the streets and like murders and all this shit that's going down, it would be irresponsible. If somebody has to point out a piece of trash before somebody picks it up. You know what I mean? If we all just walk around with our fucking heads up, look at the blue sky. No, we're never going to fix anything. Somebody has to point at it and be like, yo, what the fuck is this? And then they have to tell other people, and other people have to get equally upset. Equally upset before we actually have like this critical mass of people that actually start doing something. That actually start like getting mad enough to actually do something. So fine, if I'm here complaining, I will accept that. You call me a whiny little baby, I don't care. It's fine. I can handle that. Trust me, I've gotten a lot of criticism in my life. A lot of criticism in my life. And I'm still here. I'm still doing this shit that everyone told me was a fucking stupid idea. And you know what? In some weird roundabout sense, they are absolutely right. Who am I to fucking tell people about anything? I'm here to make jokes. At least that's what this show started as. Now it's turning into some weird fucking talk. I don't even know how to describe it. But fine, call me a whiny baby. Somebody's got to do it, though. Somebody got to do it.
I think that as a generation, we are really undervaluing the voice that we do have and the ability to use a tool like this.
Pharrell says, I don't pick up trash. I don't know what it is or who else touched it. Which is, yeah, I get that. That's fair. Because you don't want to it's trash and it may have touched an Indian. If it was just trash, I'd be like, okay. But I'm like, ew, it touched an Indian?
I get emails like this all the time, but I want to share just a little clip of an email that I just received. I sent one of your videos about LinkedIn to a friend of mine who held the view that poverty and under/unemployment is a moral failing.
Farrell says, what are we talking about? And Freeside says boomers or cum or something. I don't know. Do I just lose you guys? Do I just lose you? Because sometimes I'll just sit down here and I'll black out. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, oh, the show's over. What the fuck happened? If I am, just let me know, and I'll switch over to I'll switch over to something and actually start making jokes. I don't know. I get on tangents. Farrell, thank you for the $10. I get on tangents. I'm complaining. And he's right. It was boomers or come or something. I'm sure that's the gist of the episode. Yeah. So no, it was not 29. Thanks for playing though.
And it completely changed his view on the matter. My generation
We
Jones
like to have the conversations with each other in chat. Like, what's John screaming about now? Nobody knows because they just have me on mute. Is that what it is? Is it just like you turn me on the fucking your phone or your PC or your big screen or something like that, and then you mute it, and then you just hang out in the chat and be like, I wonder what he's so angry about. Like, wow, he seems like I can see the vein in his forehead. There's something going on. Oh, well.
Father, who unfortunately held a lot of the same negative views as proper boomers.
He's gonna give himself a stroke. Anyway, what are you up to, Freeside?
Independently stumbled on your channel and has now slowly begun to change. He better understand.
I'm not background noise. Background noise is background noise. I'm John. They're different people.
That's what I and many others our age are going through, and is now much more sympathetic. He even flipped his views on Reagan, a figure he formerly admired. These conversations make change, and if we undervalue it, things aren't going to get better. This is the real solution.
Been a while since you made him dance, says Farrell. Farrell says, I hope you win. And I was all like, oh, finally, somebody's backing up my political aspirations. Or military aspirations. I can't decide what. It might be Generalissimo Sulk one day. It might be one of those things. I'm glad I have the beret now, right? I have the beret and the sunglasses. I'm going to get myself an AK. And then I'm going to be Generalissimo Sulk. And then we're going to, I don't know, push fucking liberals out of helicopters. Right? We're going to go the whole Pinochet route.
Talking about it?
I know you guys. I know some of you guys are down. I know some of you guys are down.
Going into the people in your own community, with your friend, your grandma, your mom, whatever it is, talking about it, sharing it, coming back with solutions, acting in your own life, directing change. I think it's really important to talk about. And it certainly gets discouraging at times because...
What did Freeside pick? Freeside picked 18. Okay, 18. I hope you don't. Nope. Sorry, buddy.
I feel it too, right?
Sorry.
I don't want to say that.
Sorry.
I think that we all need to be doing more.
I'm not sorry.
But I will be the first one to say that
I don't like the things you guys have me do. Sometimes it's like
I need to be doing more. There is a lot of...
You're like, you're the Sulk, so we're going to make you sing fucking Lying on the Grass Sunday morning of last week. Like what, New Kids on the Block or some shit like that. I'm like, this is not my vibe at all. This is not my vibe at all.
Unread emails in my mailbox. There's a lot of ways that I could be a better friend and a better son.
I don't need friends. I kind of don't need them. I've grown past that era. And look, I have friends and stuff like that, but I have a family. I would rather hang out with them. I'm not gonna call up my buddy and be like, no, I'm not doing that. Farrell for another 10. He says, Freeside and Dan pick. Better do it quick. Better do it quick. Show's about to end. I've been playing Dying Light, the 007 game. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. It's very good. I would recommend it. I would recommend picking it up because I've been playing. It is really good.
A better leader in my community.
Freeside says 18. 18. And it is 33. Dan Snot says 14. He says 14. Can we get 14? Nope. 12. Sorry. And then that'll be the show, guys. That's it. Thanks for coming. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you for the donuts. I appreciate that. This one went by. I was just, I blacked out. You know how I do. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. And tomorrow night we're going to do Friday. Is it Friday show? Friday show? You know how those are. Real loose. Real loose like. So bring a video. Bring a video and then toss it my way and then, you know, we'll watch it. Possibly. Maybe. It depends. Anyways, I'll see you there. Until then, be great. Be wonderful. Be good co-members. Right? Drink a lot of water. Get a good night's sleep. Take care of yourselves because I care about you too. Love you. Goodbye. Fucking didn't do it. Hold on. Just give me a fucking second. Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
I'm an incredible soul. Unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, roaring like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.